Hi everyone. So now I'm going to discuss the literature review with you. This can be quite daunting, and many of you have probably had sleepless nights over the literature review. First of all, what is the literature review? What are we expecting to see in it? We are expecting to see a range of opinions and facts and figures from different sources, academic sources. So it could be an article, it could be a book, it could be a journal, anything that relates to your project and specifically to your hypothesis. Okay, so I know that if you are doing your hypothesis on crime and whether crime statistics are reliable, something like that, you want to find authors and perspectives that state whether or not crime statistics are in that way or not. Okay, you can't just read it and make up your own opinion. Okay, the literature review isn't about your opinion to tell us what you think the project will find or why you've specifically wanted to study it. It needs to be about the information from other people, other researchers, other sort of medical professionals if you're doing something on health. So you have to make sure that you have lots of different ideas and lots of different perspectives in your literature review. That's why sometimes it's easier to do a project that has many answers rather than just one straightforward yes or no answer. Because you get a lot more information, there's a very broad perspectives. Another aspect of the literature review that we want to see is basically the context that the authors are writing in. So if you are writing about the political aspects of your topic, okay, that needs to be evident. You need to state that these are political implications of your topic. If you are talking about psychological, economic, health, legal, anything to do with your topic, okay, make sure that that's clear. Make sure you're telling the reader that there are different aspects to this project that it's important for them to know about before going in and reading your research, okay? Now, a massive part of the literature review is how it's written, okay? It cannot have your opinion in it. It shouldn't be using personal pronouns such as I or we or me. It needs to be using words such as the author stated or Lawson believes that. So you're really specifically looking at the researcher themselves or the author or the organisation even. Many of you will be using NHS choices. So you want to make sure that you're letting the reader know that this is coming from the NHS, this is coming from the National Health Service. And it will almost sort of create sort of some validity to what it is you're trying to tell us. The literature review will be the main section in your project that will involve referencing. So it's very important to get that right. There is a criteria in the research project that links to how you reference, okay? So if your referencing is not accurate, you may get a resubmission, okay? Or you will get a resubmission. So it's very important to make sure your citations and your bibliography are accurate, that they are in alphabetical order, that everything there that needs to be there is evident, okay? Because otherwise we will just have to give it back to you. Also, the literature review is the foundations for your questionnaire that you're going to create later on. You want to make sure that the questionnaires that you are creating have questions that are similar to your literature review so that you can compare and contrast what your primary data states and then what the secondary data stated in the literature review. So for example, if Lawson states that children stay up late because of video games, you could then ask people in the questionnaire, do you think video games impact children's sleeping patterns? Okay, and then depending on the people's answers, your respondents' answers, you can then compare and contrast who's right. Did Lawson have it right, or did the majority of people think that that didn't have an impact? Okay, and then you have a comparison, or you have a contrast. You can put that in your evaluation, and it shows that you are able to connect previous literature with your own findings. Okay, and that's a skill that we're going to be looking for. Okay, so next I'm going to go through the objectives and the methodology section. So I will see you then.